Get ready, Pittsburgh, because Philadelphia is set to invade. Philly Invades Pittsburgh Beer Fest is back for its second installment on Saturday, September 14th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Spoonwood Brewing in Bethel Park. Hosted by breweries in Pennsylvania, this event features some of the best beer the east side of the Commonwealth has to offer. Grab your tickets and sip on beers from Imprint, Hidden River, Rebel Hill, Lost Tavern, Levante, Stable 12, and New Trail. Head over to Facebook and search Philly Invades Pittsburgh Beer Fest for more information and reserve your tickets before this event sells out.
Woe to you, O earth and sea.
It's the Hop Nation
USA Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hop Nation USA Podcast. This is episode 121. I am one of your hosts, Adam. Welcome. With me is Steve. Steve is hungry.
Yeah.
He needs a sandwich.
Yes.
So we're going to be quick about it. And I'm okay with that because I'm already a couple of beers deep.
All right. When'd you start drinking?
Happy hour.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
It was the memorial happy hour. Blessed be him, etc., etc.
I don't know who that is.
I know you don't.
Is that like a coworker?
It is a coworker.
Okay, then I gotta cut his name out. We can't be.
All right. We can just bleep it out. We'll put some horns there or something.
Right.
That's fine.
I'll just put like a duck noise or
That's
something.
fine, too.
You can't just go around announcing like people's last names and shit and outing them.
His address is, and his
Yeah.
social security number is.
He's not part of the show. I don't know who he is. He's not a public figure.
Not yet. That's because he hasn't had that Hop Nation bump yet.
All right. Well, he's not getting it either because you already heard the duck
That's right.
noise.
Whoever this mystery person is.
Yeah.
So this is episode 121. We are back to our search of the states.
Yes.
We are going south of the Mason-Dixon line. We are going to the great state of Maryland.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you'll call it a great state.
I mean, yeah. I like it.
You called it that.
I did call it that, and I'll back it up.
Yeah.
We're going to the old line state, Maryland. We're drinking beers from there.
I heard it was the Free State.
Actually, that is also a nickname of
I
Maryland.
know, they got too many nicknames. That's what I've learned in my research.
There's another one. I don't remember what it is. I know
No.
it's not the Granite State.
No.
I know that.
Okay.
So we're going to jump right into it for our first Maryland brewery. This is Jailbreak Brewing Company. They are out of Laurel, Maryland.
Okay.
We're going to be trying their Funk Sway.
Funk Sway.
Funk Sway, which is a key lime Berliner Weiss.
Okay.
Quick numbers, 4% ABV, 8 IBUs, 0% chance is going to be about, Steve is going to be about this on the way in.
Yes. On the way in, not so much, but we'll see what happens.
However, I do know for a fact that key lime
Yeah.
is a type of beer that you do enjoy.
Right. So maybe there's a 2% chance I'm into this.
Yes, because I know the former, was it Tallgrass?
Yes. Former Tallgrass had a good key lime. Hitchhiker has a good key lime when they
Yes.
make it.
So I know that key lime beers can work to your persuasion.
Yes.
So let's see if Jailbreak
Can they sway me with their funk?
Ha-ha!
Haha.
Very nice. So taking a look at it, it's a rather pale-looking beer. It looks almost, you know what it would remind me of? If it was like a pineapple beer, almost like a halakahiki, very light-colored.
Man, it's even lighter than that.
It's very, very light,
Yeah, from my position, it looks kind of like just like key lime pie.
which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's that wispy pale.
yeah, it is. It is not a. It looks like somebody just kind of poured some juice into the glass.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's really opaque.
Mm-hmm.
Like, despite being very pale in color, it's very opaque. So
Yes.
it does just look like a light juice.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, if you've ever seen simply lime juice,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what it looks like.
yeah, that's what it looks like.
On the nose?
It's sour.
What's that?
It's sour.
You already know it.
It's too sour.
You think it's going to be too much?
It might be too much.
Okay. I like the smell of it. I can still pick up the limes in there.
I get it barely. The sourness is like over dominating for me.
So
On the
it's
nose.
not stacking
On the
up.
nose.
It's
On the
not
nose.
stacking up for you so far.
Not yet.
All right. I think there's only one thing.
It's a little much.
Oh yeah, not for me. I like that sound.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's not for you as in that's down your road.
It is. I really like this beer.
It's got an interesting aftertaste to it.
I like it. I think the only thing that, and I hate to be critical right off the bat, and it's not a critical statement, but I'd like to have a little more graham cracker in there.
See, that's what I'm getting on the back end, though. I'm getting a lot of the malt and graham cracker on the back.
I'm not getting that. Maybe I'm just playing too much in the sourness to notice it, because I'm enjoying that. Because that's definitely sour for Berliner Weiss. It's definitely on the high end for that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm getting like way sour forward, a little bit of key lime as it tails off, and then the aftertaste and kind of the burp ups have that graham cracker on it.
So what I'm hearing is the back end is good for you.
Yeah.
You just got to suffer through the sourness to get to it.
It's just way too much sourness up front for me.
For me, I really like it, but obviously I am a sour fan compared to you, Steve.
Right.
So this is a really good beer. I like this one. I'm a fan.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There it is.
Of the style. I get to use it.
There you go.
It's my turn to
lean
use it.
into it.
I use the catchphrase.
No.
For the style.
There it is. Doesn't it feel good?
No.
It doesn't. It never does. It never does. But Jailbreak, I think you got something good going on here. I like this beer. I am going to continue to drink on this, see if anything changes while it warms up. I hope not. I like to think that it's going to stay the way it is.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, it's whatever you want.
Well, whatever I want, I'm getting right now.
I can only hope that it gets a little less tart, or
I don't think it's going to.
my palate dies off or something.
Nope.
I don't know.
I don't think you're getting that.
No, well then, oh well.
Okay. So while we let things warm up just a little bit, Steve trying to get it into an area that he likes, and me trying to keep it where it is, it's time for some news, some notes, and some neat.
I got like 3 stories this week.
Okay.
I'm just 2 of them. I feel like a quick breeze through.
All right.
But we'll put one of yours in.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
We'll sandwich.
We'll sandwich them a little bit, just because the one I have is tied to a bigger news story.
Okay.
So the first one I'll just start out with, and it's going to be real quick.
Yeah.
We don't have to comment that much. We just give it a thumbs up after I say I'm good, and we're done.
Okay.
But September 1st, laws in Texas are changing.
Okay. How so?
There is a bill that was signed in June, and part of the reason why I'm going quick is because I think we might have already talked about it.
Oh.
But there was a bill signed in June that Texas can now sell cans at their breweries.
Wait, they couldn't before?
No.
What?
Yeah, they had to sell them through distro.
Oh, that's ludicrous.
Yeah, the cans had to go through distro, and then I guess maybe they could have done a buyback.
Maybe?
Yeah,
That's too many. That's too much.
right. Yeah, there's too many steps. Now they can just go direct from the brewery to the consumer.
Right. Eliminate that middleman. Yeah, distributors are gonna get their nut anyways when they go out to bars and
Right.
go out to the distributor on the customer side as well. Things like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like most of these states, and everybody's trying to reacclimate to the way breweries run now. Mm-hmm. The fact that there are so many brew pubs and there are so many that are canning. Like even the smallest of the breweries nowadays can.
Right. Even if it's as simple as a crowler and a little, canning machine on the bar.
Yeah.
It's still canning.
Right. So laws have to reacclimate for that, and allow for distributors not to always get everything that they want.
Right. Guess what? The small business is going to get theirs once in a while.
Yeah. So that's that. Moving on.
Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about one of the behemoths, Keystone.
Yeah.
Keystone is running a promotion. I wanted to talk about this a little bit because on the surface it seems all nice and fun, but when you dig into it a little bit, it's pretty out of touch.
Out of touch and bullshit and stupid.
Yes, all of those. So Keystone is running a promotion to assist the young drinkers of America to ease into adulthood. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is their grand prize is they are going to pay your rent for 1 year.
Cool. How do you enter this contest?
I don't know. It's through a website or something. I think you have to give your social security number and your, the name of your firstborn. And a blood sample.
It's just a giveaway you sign up for?
Yeah, it's just like any other giveaway. You don't have to collect points or anything like that. You go on a website and sign up for it.
I didn't know if you had to
to win.
I didn't know if you had to make a video about how shitty your life is.
No. You don't have to do that. I think it's just enter to win and stuff like that. So what they're doing is they're going to pay your rent for an entire year.
Yeah.
That is the grand prize. I think there's 10 or 11 grand prizes like that. Oh, I'm sorry. There are 13 lucky winners.
Okay.
That you will get $12,000 in rent money for a year.
Yeah, that's their consideration.
That is their
rent
consideration
for a year.
The grand prize. And on the surface, yeah, okay, that's a big check. I like that. That's pretty neat. Until you start running the math. 12 months, $12,000 is $1,000 a month for rent. Now, you can find a place for $1,000 a month to pay your rent. Unless you don't live in Iowa, Nebraska, or in the depths of, Jersey, not the good parts. What I have an issue with is they say they're going to pay your rent, but if you live anywhere decent or anywhere that has any sort of rent issues, like, say, I don't know, San Francisco, L.A., Denver, Houston, anything like that, any semblance of metropolitan area, you ain't finding shit for $1,000 a month.
Absolutely not. And so here's something that I just found out, that the average rent across the nation is $1,200.
So you're already short.
Yeah, they're already short.
Yeah.
Because you can't even come up with the average.
And the other thing is they're handing you a check of $12,000 in rent money. That doesn't say anything about the taxes that you're going to have to take out.
Right.
Because it is a prize.
It's a prize, right.
So they're going to take you out at 39.9%.
Yeah.
You're getting screwed on that. If they say they're going to pay your rent for a year.
Yeah.
They're not paying your rent.
No,
for
they're
a
not
year.
paying anybody's
No,
rent for a year.
Not at all. I'm very curious how they came up with that number. Probably just
1,000 for
easy
yeah,
math.
Yeah. They just did easy math of like, oh yeah, I used to pay 1,000, so
Yeah. That is in and of itself kind of embarrassing.
yes.
But the other thing that they're handing out is the runner-up prizes for being able to take care of the adulting, because adulting is hard.
Yeah, sure.
Late millennial, early zennial speak.
Yeah, sure.
We're curmudgeons on this show now. We don't have to deal with that anymore. So here's
I've always been a curmudgeon. I've been a curmudgeon since I was 15, so
they're calling it the Getting Older Transition Pack. Mm-hmm. And here is what you are going to get with the Getting Older Transition Pack. You are going to get a Keystone Light branded inflatable chair, a shower curtain,
cool.
a Hawaiian shirt, and a candelier, which is a chandelier made of Keystone Light cans.
Oh, God.
What kind of trailer trash prize pack is that?
Keith Stones.
You know,
The only one I'll give is the shower curtain.
yes.
I feel like a lot of people, making that transition to adulthood, there's a lot of things that go overlooked when you're getting into your first place.
Like a shower curtain.
Shower curtains, just regular ass curtains, and or blinds, depending on how you like your windows. A lot of people don't think about those things when they're moving
Right.
into their first place.
I'll guarantee you, anytime there's an Ask Reddit thread that says, what kind of things did you not expect to have whenever you got into adulthood that you actually needed, nobody ever said Hawaiian shirt.
Nobody said Hawaiian shirt.
Nobody. Not only that.
Nobody said shitty chandelier
No.
that you might not be able to hang in your apartment because that would void your...
Right, because it's
your-
being rented.
Yeah. It'll void your... what is it? Your policy... What?
Your lease agreement.
Yeah, your lease agreement, and you don't get your deposit back.
Right.
My fucking brain's stupid.
That's okay. That's all right. You need sandwiches. I get that.
I've definitely lost my deposit a couple times. Hanging shelves and shit.
And nobody uses inflatable furniture for more than 10 minutes at a time.
No. Nobody uses inflatable furniture at all anymore.
No.
Whoever... Ugh.
No. So Keystone
you,
Light.
Keystone.
This is one time where I will be mad on the show.
Okay.
It's so disappointing.
Good. Come to the dark side.
But it's just you were so close. You had a good idea. I like the idea of having, a quote unquote prize pack to transition to adulthood. Yes,
Yeah.
I understand Keystone Light is a party beer, etc., etc., etc.
Jackass beer.
I get that. But you could do so much more.
You could have actually helped people.
Yeah, the shower curtain idea, I like that.
Right.
Go into that arena more. Inflatable furniture, that ain't it.
Shower curtain, towels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
People don't think about towels.
right. I would use a Keystone Light towel.
Right. You just use it in the house. You don't have to worry about taking it out anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have a girl coming over, switch them out.
Yeah.
That encourages you to change your towels anyways.
Right.
Which you should be doing. So I read that and I just thought, Keystone, you can do better.
Yeah, they totally could do better.
So much better.
Yeah,
they didn't.
They didn't. Fuck them.
They phoned it in on some phony baloney prize pack and rent money that won't even cover the check.
Keystone is the fucking Spencer's Gifts.
They are. That's all they did. They went to the Spencer's gift catalog.
Yeah.
You know, just blindly pointed at a couple of things and said, "No, we can put our brand on that.
We'll make our own."
Yeah. I could talk more, but I'm not going to. I'm going to calm back down and have more of this jailbreak.
Okay, you do that. You do that. I'll go into our other short news story, which will actually lead into a big news story.
Okay.
Cincinnati Zoo is adding a craft beer space.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. And doesn't sound as terribly bad as it is.
No.
But they're opening a craft beer garden. It's called Hops.
Okay.
Yeah, Hops.
They better have kangaroos there.
I'll get to it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's called Hops. It's opening up this October, and they're going to have taps featuring local Cincy breweries and Ohio breweries like 50 West, Mad Tree, and High Grain.
Right on.
And they're also going to have 4 taps of Ab-Inbev.
Well, did they pay for the space?
I don't know. I'm assuming there's some sort of sponsorship or attachment to it because Cincy already sells Bud Light.
Yeah, I'm sure there's already a tie-in.
Yeah. What was interesting was the 4 that were mentioned in the press release, none of them were platform.
Good.
What you think?
No, I understand that that should be a shoe-in.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're not.
Yeah,
They will get there eventually.
They'll be there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for now, they'll be selling Goose Island, Elysian, Golden Road, and Breckenridge.
Breckenridge is an Ab-Inbev? Yes, they are.
Yeah,
I already answered my own question.
Yes. Back to your little mention, though, about there better be kangaroos. They will be expanding it, and in the spring, they'll be opening up a multi-tiered deck for the beer garden.
Okay.
And the deck will overlook Kangaroo Valley.
Good.
And so you'll be able to enjoy your hops while enjoying some hops.
Because if they didn't do that, if they did something like put them in front of the giraffes, I would write a strongly worded letter to the board of directors.
Just don't call it hops. Call it something else.
Right. But it's such an easy transition. I'm glad they caught it, because if they didn't,
Yeah, no, there's even a little logo of a kangaroo and everything. So you'll be able to see the kangaroos from while you're having your beers.
I'll be placated on that front.
Yeah.
Good. So what is the bigger story this is going to lead into?
Well, the bigger story is, I mentioned Ab-Inbev, and we talked about Platform a couple weeks ago about their acquisition.
Yes.
And, they are on the forefront of possibly making another acquisition.
Really?
So this, to pull back the curtain, break the fourth wall, we're reporting something that may or may not have happened.
Wait, okay.
So I'll lead you through this. Don't worry about it.
You know what? I'm going to strap in. I'm going to go for the ride.
Yeah. So I've found an article, and it's full credit. It goes to the Motley Fool on Fool.com.
Yes.
And they are reporting about Ab-Inbev has the chance, and they're actually up against the deadline to purchase the Craft Brew Alliance.
Really?
Yeah. There's that obvious partnership between the Craft Brew Alliance, which features Kona brands. Mm-hmm. And there's been this partnership where Craft Brew Alliance has been using Ab-Inbev facilities to both brew and distro.
Yes. And obviously for Kona, that makes sense.
Right.
Because you can't do all that brewing there on the islands and then ship it all the way over here to the mainland.
Yeah. What's going on is Ab-Inbev already owns a third of the Craft Brew Alliance. Mm-hmm. And in 2016, they entered an agreement that they had the option to make a purchasing offer.
Okay.
That purchasing offer would be at the price point of what the CBA was trading at the time, which is $24.50
per share.
Yes.
Okay.
So if they buy them, it would be $475 million. Yeah.
That's a big check.
That's a lot. They have until Friday 23rd to make the decision whether or not they're going to buy.
Okay.
So if you're listening on a Friday, as you should, this either did or did not happen.
Right. So it's interesting that the Motley Fool is where you found this. Obviously, they're an investment website. They're into the money side of things, but I didn't see that anywhere else.
Right. Neither did I. I haven't seen it reported, and I think people are just waiting to see which way it comes out. Mm-hmm. The Motley Fool article was kind of 3 reasons why they're going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which way it's going to go. I'm not that. Mm-hmm. A couple of things they brought up. One, they're obviously Ab-Inbev is back in the buying game.
Yes.
2, I don't think this was actually brought up on their site, but the Craft Brewer Alliance isn't just Kona. They would pick up 9 brands from one purchase.
Any idea what the other ones are? Or at least a portion of them?
I know a portion of them, and it's mostly ones that we would know. So like Omission, the gluten-free brewery, they would pick up.
Yes.
Red Hook, they would pick up, and Appalachian Mountain Brewing.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, you have.
I have?
Yeah, they were beers that they weren't on the show, but they were beers that Brian brought back from North Carolina.
Oh, yes.
I told you about that beer on one episode because you wouldn't like it.
Right. Did you do a review of that on the website?
Yes, you can find a review of that IPA on the website, OpNationUSA.com.
Okay, now I remember that.
Yeah. Currently, though, the CBA is trading at $14 a share.
Ooh.
So it's not the company is not performing as well, and there's obviously not the incentive in the market to buy shares.
Yeah.
Thinking that it's going to get picked up by Ab-Inbev. Something else that kind of leans against Ab-Inbev buying is they still have the $100 billion debt hanging over their head from buying SAB Miller.
Yes.
And they did not have, or they weren't able to initiate their Asian IPO. Mm-hmm. So that they're in a lot of debt.
And they might not be the best move to get into more debt.
Spend another $500 million.
Right. Platform was probably, a little bit less than that.
Yeah, Platform was less than that. I still don't know if we know what the numbers were.
I haven't seen any numbers either.
Yeah. I would guess under 20 million.
Probably.
I guess that. But yeah, so it's hard to say if however that they decide not to buy, then they still have to pay the CBA $20 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the CBA continues to use their facilities in distro.
Okay.
And they can brew up to 300,000 barrels for 7 years.
So if this buyout does not happen, the CBA will essentially still be in existence for the next 7 years.
Right. They'll still be in existence for the next 7. They'll still get to use the Ab-Inbev brew facilities. They'll also get to take advantage of the international distro markets that Ab-Inbev opened up for them. So it's kind of similar, I think, to the Miller Pabst kind of agreement that they have.
Yes, although I doubt that Red Hook is going to go as rogue as Pabst did.
Right. Right. Well, who knows?
Right.
I mean, if they don't buy them, they can
do what they damn well please.
Yeah, they just do what they please. The thing with that is, I don't know what happens after 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, nobody does.
Right. So I don't. Yeah. So maybe they stop being around. Maybe they lose the facility. So
right. Joe Biden could try to sell us to Belgium. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what happens?
Yeah. Pittsburgh is now part of Kazakhstan. He's piecemealing it apart.
Thanks, Andrew Yang. Yang.
Still on that Yang Gang train?
No, I've never been on the Yang Gang train.
Oh, you just like the name?
Yeah, I just like saying it. And I also like saying it instead of Yingling. Never been on the Yang Gang train. He's got some good ideas.
Everybody's got good ideas.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Everybody's got at least one good idea.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say that. Everybody's got at least one good idea.
Adam says a lot of things.
This is true. I've been there for most of them.
But yeah, so there's that's kind of the bigger story, and it may or may not have happened, but you can plan to wake up Friday morning and be mad.
Or not. That's up to you.
Yeah, there's I just don't. I personally don't see it happening.
I don't see it, but I'm also not a player in that game, so to speak.
No, you're not.
So they could see something that I don't, and you don't.
The one thing I would say is, like, 9 brands is a lot of brands to pick up, and that's a lot of fucking shelf space.
Yes.
Considering we, especially here in Pennsylvania, we get Kona, Omission, and Red Hook.
Yes.
The other brands I didn't mention, we don't really get here.
I've seen them, and I've drank them.
Right. So we get all of those brands, and that's a lot of shelf space that they would get. They would also, obviously, with Omission, that adds a gluten-free brand to them. So
I don't have to worry about that around here.
no, we have Aurochs.
We got Aurochs. We're good.
We're good. But yeah, so those might be the only two reasons. But $500 million, I don't know.
That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, that's a lot of cheese. I got trouble spending $18 on a 4-pack. So, but yeah, that's kind of the big news story. Could be bigger.
It could be. It could be nothing.
Yeah, it could be nothing. But there you go.
Sounds to me like we're gonna have us a follow up.
Maybe. If we follow it up, it'll just be like, ha ha, we were right, or ha ha, we said something about it.
Right. And then we move right on.
Yeah.
And
So tune in to episode 122 for
something.
It's nothing. Yeah.
This beer, the Jailbreak, the Funk Sway. I'm drinking it more. And I like it more. This is a good beer. I'm enjoying this a whole heck of a lot.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time.
I am having a good time. And I'll admit, I think now that it's warming up a little bit more, I like it a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good as it can be dead nuts cold right out of the fridge.
Yeah.
I think if you warm it up a little bit, I think it gets a little bit better.
Okay.
Now, that's a good-ass beer.
I can't say all those things.
Then I will say it for you.
Well, you already did. I will say I do get lime flavor on it, so it's not a lie. If anybody who's listened to the show before, you understand that I get very cranky when people say there's flavors, and then those flavors don't exist.
Right.
Even through all the very strong sour flavors, I still get key lime flavor, so that's there.
Yes. I like it. Perhaps the next one that we have from the great state of Maryland will be a bit more to your palate, Steve.
I can hope.
So let's find out.
Cool.
We'll
Back
be right-
in segment 2. The 2019 Tales on the Trails Family Glow Walk. It'll be held Saturday, September 21st from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Brady's Run Park. Come on out, wear your glow-in-the-dark gear, your neon clothes, or any LED lights, and even dress up your pets to come and support the Beaver County Humane Society. There's going to be vendors, there's going to be food trucks, caricatures, and even neon face painting. You can also make your pledges online at beavercountyhumanesociety.org. There will be prizes for the top 3 fundraisers. Again, it's Saturday, September 21st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Brady's Run Park. So come out with your family and your pets and have a wonderful night walking the trails.
Welcome back, Hop Nation. This is episode 121, and in case you didn't know, that's a palindrome. 121, it's a palindrome.
You got it.
Forwards and backwards, it's the same number.
Thanks, race car.
I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head.
That's good for you.
A man, a plan, something or other, Panama.
Nope. Something or other is not in there.
Well, I say it is. So
you would not do good on Countdown.
that is correct. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know. British TV.
Oh.
Check it out sometime.
It's not Golden Ball, so I don't care.
What is that?
It's a British TV show.
I don't know that one.
Oh, okay. I see we've reached an impasse. Let's break this up with some beers.
Of course, you would know something called Golden Ball that
nobody's
nobody's heard of, and
It's a thing.
just like Dino Riders. The fuck are you talking about sometimes?
Don't hate on Dino Riders. Don't you bring that into this house.
Just make up stuff from your alternate dimension.
Oh, is that the truth?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Watch Faulty Towers. Are You Being Served? Blackadder.
Nah, I knew Blackadder was coming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You watch all those.
No Golden Balls.
Nobody knows what Golden Ball is.
All right. What beer are we drinking?
The next beer comes to us from the Elder Pine Brewing and Blending Company, and it is called the Stargazer. It is a black IPA, clocking in at 6.0% on the alcohol by volume. Nothing on the IBUs.
Okay.
But I can tell you it was brewed with Chinook, Simcoe, Columbus, and Lemon Drop hops.
Those are not hops that particularly go well with my taste buds.
No, especially the Chinook and Simcoe. That's some resinous shit, my dude.
Yeah, it is. So this might be something that is right in your wheelhouse, Steve.
Could be.
And I might just work my way through it.
Yeah, well, as you said off mic, turnabout's fair play.
Yes.
So
You might get yours this turn.
yeah, well, looking at it, it's definitely a black IPA.
Yeah, that's a sneaky beer.
I'll say it has some pretty good like head retention on it.
It does. It looks like a classic stout.
A little bit. It's not completely like darkness through and through. You can catch light, glinting off of it.
Maybe closer to a porter.
Yeah,
But it has a tan head on it.
Yeah, it has a nice tan head on it.
Oh, shit. The nose, however.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real hoppy nose on that one.
Yeah. It looks like a stout until you get it near your face.
Yeah, it looks like a stout, and then it smells like citrus.
Yeah. Who knows what this thing is?
Smells like a bag of lemons.
That would explain the lemon drop hop.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that can't be that bad for you.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
Okay. I'm waiting.
I had to take another sip to make sure I wasn't out of my gourd.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It kind of tastes like somebody took a stout and they just kind of put some lemon juice in there.
All right.
That's what I got on my first sip. Now that I took a second sip and the hops are kind of sticking around in the mouth, not so much.
Yeah.
But on the first sip, it was
First sip was fine.
the first sip was fine. It tasted like somebody took a stout and just went with a lemon,
Yeah.
which I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's for me, I got like a lot of roasty back end on it.
There is the other thing, and I was going to mention that.
Yeah.
It is a very roasty beer.
Yeah. It up front though, it's pretty indistinguishable, I would say almost
From
just like maybe like a hopped lager.
okay.
It's like up front, it's pretty thin. That's where like this style really differentiates itself from stouts and porters. Is a lot of time you'll find the mouthfeel not as thick. Mm-hmm. It's not thick.
It is not. With two C's, I'm sure.
Right, definitely with two C's. But you get a good amount of hop up front. There's a lot of lemony flavors in it. I don't get a whole lot of like piney notes though.
No, nor do I.
Which is surprising because like they mentioned they put a lot of Chinook and Simcoe in there, and those are really piney resinous. But that's not really present. The hop aftertaste does build though.
Yes, it does. It insists upon itself.
But I don't mind that. I like that.
Are you feeling better than the last beer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes. This is my good mood food. But yeah, I like this a lot better than a Berliner Weiss, but that's just my palate. So.
We have taken care of everybody's sensibilities.
Yes.
All two of us.
All two of us this week. If we had another host this week, somebody might be upset at both of them.
Yes. Well, that's why we have the third beer, which I have a hunch everybody's going to like.
Hooray. Good.
Yes. So now that we are having a beer in front of us, what are we going to talk about?
Well, I mean, as it's almost become par for the course when we do these state episodes, it's time to actually profile the state a little bit. Get to learn some history and the goings-on in the state of Maryland.
Yes.
The state of Maryland currently, according to the Brewers Association website, houses 103 breweries.
Oh, really?
Either open or soon to open.
Okay.
I know there are numbers in works.
Yes, because actually the numbers that I had were, at least in 2018, were 94.
Yeah, in 2018 there were 94.
But with opening soon or just opened, that number makes sense.
Yeah. Also, sometimes the Brewers Association may not differentiate from tap rooms all the time.
Right.
So there could be a little muddled.
It's a little fuzzy.
Also, as of 2000, I believe it was 2018, they are 23rd in the union with the number of breweries that they have.
Okay.
And they're 22nd in amount brewed.
Top half.
Yeah, top half. Good for them.
Yes.
Right in the middle of the pack, not bothering nobody.
They are the Arizona Cardinals of craft beer.
There they go. But yes, let's dive all the way back, though, to the year 1703.
Yes.
And that's when the Benjamin Fordham Brewery first opened in and around the Annapolis area. And that was the first brewery in Maryland.
Now the state capital.
Yeah. And they had a pretty long history of brewing in that area. Obviously, George Washington was in and about there, putting about.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, and we know he was a brewer. So there's a lot of history that goes back to colonial times. And jumping to a little bit forward, about 100 years to the 1800s, that's when you get your influx of your German And
Yes.
the Germans come over. The Germans,
Yes, going to the hills.
the Germans, they go into the hills and they brew the lagers.
Yes.
We already talked about the one brewery that was pretty big and serviced the area. We talked about it on our DC episode.
Oh, yes.
But obviously, because DC touches Maryland.
That portion of it was a part of Maryland at one point.
Right. But we're talking about the Christian Hurech Brewery.
Yes.
That opened up in 1872. And that was like right across the Potomac. Mm-hmm. And it eventually did close in 1956 to make way for the Teddy Roosevelt Bridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was the brewery that Christian Hurech started. And remember, he lived to like 102 and died in 1945.
Yeah, he just kept going.
Right, he kept going. He lived all the way through Prohibition and was so mad that after Prohibition ended, he reopened his brewery.
I love it that a man would reopen a brewery simply out of spite.
Yes, he did. And he did. He's like, it's going to be it'll be an ice house now, but once we're back...
And I guarantee you it didn't take 6 weeks to get beer up and running again after
Right.
Prohibition. It was like 48 hours.
Yeah. He's like, it's got to go in the bottles now.
Yep.
So that was kind of one of the bigger breweries that service the area, but obviously we would be remiss to not mention one that opened up a little bit later, the National Bohemian
Yes.
Company.
Oh boy, what a beer.
I'm gonna let you just throw all that stuff in that you want.
Yes.
I know you're. Everybody has their fandom for like shitty beer styles.
Everybody's got that one.
Yeah, everybody's got that one. Natty Boh is yours.
I may or may not. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is. Natty Boh is yours. I like old style, and I like occasionally a Pabst. So
I'll go Old German as well.
Yeah.
Old German, the world knows no finer.
We're not talking old German. But the National Bohemian Brewing Company, they opened in 1885. Mm-hmm. Yes, so they're in about that same area, and the brewery itself closed in 1978. Yeah, there's a lot of weird transitional history in there. Mm-hmm. They were bought by a lot of companies, and they basically came packaged.
They've been passed around a bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, they just come in packages as they're sold off. They wound up eventually coming and settling down. They were bought by the Pabst Brewing Company, though. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously Pabst, they brew PBR, and they brew Old Style, and they brew Natty Boh, and they brew...
Yes, those brands.
Yeah.
Everybody's got one.
Right. Natty Boh, though, they in 1944, they were actually the first brewery to introduce those puzzle caps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what Lion's Head has. Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
And they actually kind of gained popularity, through the war. As we're at the end of the war, they gained popularity though as something to do. So look, I drink a beer and I do my puzzles.
Yeah, life is good.
Yeah, but yeah, very similar to the Lion's Head cap. They're the image rebus. Where you see a thing and another thing. You see a screw and a ball, and then you go, screwball.
The screwball, yes.
I got it.
Yeah. It's on a flag of a dog in a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
I got it.
There you go.
It's actually on Daffy Duck's ass when.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, because the artist drew Daffy Duck. Whatever. That's an old reference for our older listeners.
Yes, 35 plus.
Yeah,
which is pretty much everybody.
Mm-hmm. Another interesting fact about Natty Boh, though, was in 1946, Jared Hoffberger took over as president.
Okay.
And in 1954, he bought a small portion of the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
And in 1965, that turned into the controlling portion of the Baltimore Orioles.
Really?
Yes. So you can probably guess what the beer was served at Memorial Stadium.
Yes.
It was Natty Boh.
Cal Ripken's ripping Natty Bohs.
Yeah, and in the 1960s, Natty Boh was actually declared the official beer of Baltimore.
And funny you mentioned that because over 90% of the Natty Boh is sold in Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely believable.
Yeah.
I imagine like the 90% of Old Style is sold in Chicago.
And 90% of IC Light is sold in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, 90% of Lone Star is sold in Texas.
Right.
It just makes sense. 90% of Old Milwaukee is thrown in the garbage.
Aw, but yeah.
So there is a interesting connection between Maryland and Pennsylvania.
Yes, that would be the state line.
That's not interesting. That's just a line.
I mean, it is the Mason-Dixon line.
All right, that's a more famous line, but
Yes.
all right. No, what I was actually talking about, though, is a lot of people like to associate Mr. Boh, the mascot for National Bohemian, they like to associate him as the husband or fiancé for the Utz girl.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
This is a very Baltimore thing that I've
I
learned.
didn't know that.
Yeah. This is a very Baltimore thing that I've learned. Utz, for the people who don't know, that it's pretty well-known Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah.
But for our Texas and California listeners, the Utz is a chip company, and they famously brew...
Nope.
Nope.
Try that one again.
They famously make crab chips.
Yes.
Which is basically just Old Bay seasoning on chips. And people in Baltimore obviously have their dicks hard for crabs. Ha-ha.
Yes, they do.
Yes. But people in Baltimore, they love crabs.
They do. They do.
And so they love the crab chip, but they also love Natty Boh. And they love pairing the two together.
And they got the one-eyed guy
Right.
and the lady on the chips.
Yeah. So
Guess what?
Yeah.
They're going to ship them.
They started pairing them together.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know how long this has been going on for. I imagine a while. But it's like very early fanfic.
Yeah. That has to be just a drunken discussion at an old pub somewhere.
Right.
That got out of control.
You guys think that...
Nope. I don't know what their accent is, but I know that isn't it.
No, it's Mid-Atlantic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You ever watch that? You ever watch The Wire?
I have. Omar's coming.
Yeah. Well, there's that one police lieutenant, and he's got that real hard staccato accent.
Oh, that was just a jag-off.
Oh, he's probably a bit of a jag, too.
Oh, all right.
I think he's like the only guy from the Baltimore area that they hired to do
Baltimore
acting.
things.
Yeah, Baltimore things. Everybody else didn't have a Baltimore accent on The Wire.
Okay, then.
There's just this one police lieutenant with a mustache.
Yeah, I just assumed that Baltimore was just generic mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah, it's generic Mid-Atlantic.
Huh.
Yeah, and they're just like, they sit around at their pub, and they're just like, hey, you guys think Mr. Boh ever gives it to the Utz girl?
Gives it to the Utz girl.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, then.
Yeah, there you go.
I had no idea that was a thing.
I didn't
How
either.
did you find that out?
No, I was just reading about National Bohemian, and then it just came up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, we know Utz because Utz, back to the Pennsylvania connection, Utz is made in Pennsylvania,
Yes.
but it was first, kind of introduced into Baltimore as like their big market. Now it's everywhere.
And speaking of introduced, and we're talking about Natty Boh, did you know that Natty Boh had their hand in another famous brand back in 1963?
No.
Colt 45.
Oh,
Yeah.
neat.
Spring of 63, they brought out Colt 45. They need to bring a malt beverage to the market.
Okay. I'm not going to say it's a good one because all malt beverage is bad.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But I had no idea that Natty Boh and Colt 45 had that direct connection.
Right on. Cool.
There you go.
Yeah, that obviously that brand was packaged with Natty Boh as it was sold to Stroh's, as Stroh's was sold to. So because of that packaging and all that selling off and everything, and the occasional in and out of Natty Boh, they were the oldest brewery until 1996.
Because they were no longer brewed in state in 1996, correct?
Right. So it's like, I think it was like 1978, the original brewery closed, but they were still brewed at another facility. And then 1996, that facility was closed, which means that the current oldest brewery in the state is the Oliver Brewing Company.
I've never heard of them.
That's fine. They're very local. They opened in 1993, and they have about 5 tap rooms in and around the Baltimore area.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they seem to be pretty big within the Baltimore area, but they're not necessarily reaching out farther past that.
They're comfortable in their Baltimore zone. That's all the further they're going.
Yeah, I think they have very limited distro to like New York and Eastern PA.
So I-95.
Very limited. Yeah. They are not one of those old brew pubs though that kind of just started in the 90s and never changed and had the same 5 styles. They have kept up with the times.
Good.
They offer fruited sours. They offer Dippas, they have like a collaboration series with metal bands.
So they're not getting passed up. They're staying with the times.
Right.
Good.
So
Good.
Yeah, good for them. They continue on. Another, I would say, old. It's an old institution, but not necessarily old for Maryland. Is Flying Dog.
Yes, and I know for a fact that we've had them on the show multiple times.
Yeah, we've definitely drank Flying Dog before.
Yeah. On the show and off.
Right. The Flying Dog, obviously, they were founded in 1990 in Colorado. It wasn't until 2006 they opened their Frederick, Maryland brew house.
I honestly had no idea that they were originally based out of Colorado. Mm-hmm. I always assumed they were a Maryland brewery.
We've totally talked about that before.
Doesn't mean I remember it.
I know. We've totally talked about that before because the connection is Hunter S. Thompson lived in the area. Mm-hmm. And Hunter S. Thompson's artist was Ralph Steadman.
And that's where a lot of their beer labels come in.
Right, and Ralph Steadman now does their labels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew that, but for some reason I never
Yeah.
remembered that connection between Colorado and Maryland.
Yeah.
So is Maryland now the only place that they brew Flying Dog, or do they still do it out in Colorado as well?
No, in 2007 they closed their Denver brewery.
Okay, so they are a Maryland exclusive brewery now.
Right.
Okay.
They have the brewing capacity for 100,000 barrels.
And we will get into that in a moment.
So I wouldn't call them exclusive to Maryland, but
No,
as a brewing operation.
Yes.
Yeah. They also, have come under fire of recent, I would say, as Twitter has taken arms up against them for their line of beers that have feature bitch in the label.
Yeah.
But they've always maintained the idea of free speech because they've fought that fight before when they released the no shit good beer label.
Yeah.
And they fought that against the government.
And
of course, they're going to fight against people on Twitter.
The name of the brewery is Flying Dog.
Right.
And having a Raging Bitch IPA, come on.
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah. On the other hand, they are releasing their Salty Bitch, which is not a dog.
Oh, okay.
It's just
all right.
It's just a person, and love them or hate them. Mm-hmm. They're the largest brewery in Maryland.
Yes, and
so there you go.
To tag on to that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the now times. Steve gave you a little bit of information on the past. Going to give you a little bit on what we have going on now. The Brewers Association of Maryland, that is kind of the overriding conglomerate of breweries in Maryland. They were actually started in 1996. They usually have two events in the great state of Maryland, one in the spring, one in the fall. In spring, they have the Maryland Craft Beer Fest. That is in beautiful Frederick, Maryland. And in the fall, they have the Baltimore Craft Beer Festival. I'll give you 3 guesses as to where they have that. The first 2 don't count.
Baltimore, Maryland.
You got 2 more.
The Wire's cool.
You got 1 more.
Nope.
Okay, you failed that one.
Fuck you, McNulty.
It's Baltimore.
Okay,
there you go. Steve had mentioned earlier the number of breweries. In 2018, it was estimated there were 94. Now they're well over 100 now that we are in 2019 and climbing. As I think every state's brewery count is climbing.
Yeah,
that's the way craft beer is.
I don't think there's any state that's like closing down and
right.
reverting to prohibition and temperance.
I don't think that's going to happen right now. So in 2018, I wanted to give you a list of the top 5 breweries in terms of capacity in the state of Maryland. Steve already gave you number 1.
Flying Dog.
Flying Dog in 2018 provided 105,000 barrels.
Oofa.
Yes, and their number 1 beer was the Raging Bitch. Yeah. So that was an easy one. Number 2 was Clipper City.
Oh, okay.
They provided 43,796 barrels. Their number 1 beer, the Loose Cannon IPA. By the way, Clipper City is also Heavy Seas. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you're not going to see Heavy Seas on the list.
Right.
Because they're in Clipper City.
Okay.
They're already included. Number 3 is Delmar Brewing. That comes in with 21,000 barrels. And their number 1 beer was the Lot 3 IPA. I'm sure you're seeing a bit of a trend here.
Yeah.
Hops.
Hops.
Number 4. Number 4 is a familiar one, but not necessarily expected. Number 4, Guinness.
Okay.
Guinness opened gate. Remember, I know we've talked about this in the past, that Guinness opened up a brewery in the Maryland area, closer to Baltimore. I believe that is the first stateside Guinness brewery.
Yeah, in about 60 years, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
in recent memory.
Right, yeah. No, it's the first one in 60 years. So
They came in with 17,886 barrels, but it is estimated that next year it's going to be higher. Next year being this year, being 2019, because it opened in 2018, so they didn't run for an entire year. So they only came in 4th place. Their number one beer, of course, is the Guinness Golden Ale.
right, because it's important to mention that the Guinness regular stout is not brewed there.
Yes.
It's only brewed in Dublin.
Where it should be.
So there you go.
Yes. And number 5 is, I believe it's RAR or RAR Brewing. I think it's RAR.
Okay.
RAR Brewing, 12,000 barrels. Their number one beer was the Natty Boh Nectar.
Huh.
It's an IPA.
That's fine.
One beer or one brewery that I'm sure you'll notice is missing from the list.
Yeah, where are my boys Dukla?
Exactly. So in
Where my Dukla boys?
in 2017, they were number 2 on the list.
Oh.
2018, they didn't want to be included.
Okay.
This list comes from BizJournal, bizjournal.com.
Yeah.
They declined to be included.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Because they don't want Ab-Inbev hunting.
Maybe they're kind of hiding their numbers. They don't, they want to stay low with the high grass.
I imagine so, because they have a pretty strong distro.
I know, because they make good beer.
Yeah. Because they're in PA, obviously. Maryland, obviously.
Yes.
I find a whole shitload of their stuff in Ohio. So they, and I imagine they're in New York.
That makes sense.
It's been a while. I think I've seen them in New York. But yeah, they have pretty strong distros, so they might have just wanted to stay off the radar and didn't want fucking people hunting.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
We're just going to be over here doing our own thing.
Don't mind
beers, make a little bit of money,
Yeah.
making some good beers.
Don't mind us. Here's something called Unicorn Farts that has, it's a sour with glitter. Only pay attention to that.
That's
pay
right.
attention to nothing else.
So I imagine that 2019 will be a bit of a shakeup, simply because Guinness is going to be at full tilt for an entire year, and depending on what Duclaw does, whether they want to be included in 2019, and who knows, there might be another option coming out of nowhere that I don't know about.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Let's find out.
I would be interested to see what happens with Guinness, not this year, 2019, but next year, 2020.
How so?
Well, I want to give them a year to go full tilt with, see how much they can produce. But we still haven't seen a whole lot of those specialty ales and stuff come out.
True.
Yeah, we get occasionally, we get the blonde lager, and we've got the IPA. So we get occasional stuff from them. I just want to see if we'll ever get a whole lot more from them.
So we'll have to keep track of that. I'm curious what 2019 and 2020 is going to come for the Old Line State.
The Old Line State.
Yes.
But there you go. That's kind of your history and your current goings on. The one thing I did want to mention is they recently changed laws. Maryland has a lot of silly laws, kind of like we do. They recently changed laws with the Brewery Modernization Act.
Modernization Act.
That was that was enacted by the governor, and they had a very strange set of laws that said that you couldn't sell more than 500 barrels in your brewery.
What?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Right. So remember how we talked about that Texas law? You couldn't sell cans. This is the same end result, because basically you couldn't sell more than 500 barrels of beer. You're probably not going to do that just off your taps.
Right.
Yeah. So it was that way for a while, and then 2017 it increased to 3,000.
500 to 3,000 is quite the jump.
Yeah, that's quite the jump. So I guess that opened it up for people to sell bottles and cans out of their tap rooms. And then just in April of this year, they increased it to 5,000.
Good.
So yeah, you can sell more bottles and cans directly from the brewery without having to worry about going over that.
Buy it directly from the people that are actually making it.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Right. Fucking amazing.
Yeah. It took us 200 plus years to get there.
Yeah. They're also beholden to silly rules, just like every other state.
Yeah. The Pennsylvania is not the only ones dealing with that.
Right. But yeah, there you go. There's Maryland. So let's go back to our Maryland beer that we're drinking.
Yes.
We have the Stargazer by the Elder Pine Brewing and Blending Company. It's a black IPA. What do you think, Adam?
I get it. And you know what? It's not as offensive as I thought it was going to be when we were talking about this before this segment started.
Yeah.
Where you were talking about the type of hops that were going to be in there and things like that. I was not looking forward to it. Not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah, the thing to remember about black IPAs is they're usually already working with a lot of roasty flavors to, so you hit those SRMs and like that's going to be a lot of roasted malt to get you there. You can't go overboard with the hops.
No.
Because it's going to be quickly undrinkable for most people.
Right.
Like, I mean, even as it is right now, you don't see a lot of black IPAs out there. I can think of, and I don't even know if they're still doing it, but Grist House had a really good one that I liked, and Cobble House has a good one that I like. And that's all I can think of off the top of my head in our area.
I say, you willing to put this one on that list?
I mean, I'll put it's on there.
Yeah.
Because I can only think of two. I just thought of another. Okay. But it's not from a brewery around here. It's from the Flying Monkeys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's called the Necronomicon or whatever.
Good Canadian boys.
Yeah. But this Stargazer, I would say, is better than that.
Oh, right on.
So,
yeah, this one is, for somebody who is not an IPA drinker, this is not an offensive beer. And that is honestly saying a lot because, like you had mentioned, the roastiness can take a front seat if you look for it. If that's what you kind of concentrate on, yeah, I can dig it.
I would say black IPAs in general are not like, that's not starter beer for anybody.
It is not. No, you kind of have to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You don't want to hand that off to some, wet behind the ears beer drinker.
No.
Because they're not gonna get it.
No, they're not gonna get it. And like this is really good though if like paired with some dark red meat. Yeah, this would be good with some really well seasoned meat. Not so much good with fish.
No,
this is just gonna blot all that out.
Right, it's just gonna turn into sustenance.
Yeah, it's gonna blot all that out. Might go pretty well with some ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, might be. Again, you got to watch how delicate your meat is. But
you still haven't had your sandwich yet, have you?
Nope.
Okay.
Still thinking about food.
So then let's take a quick break. Let's get another advert in there. Let's come back. Segment 3. We got one more Maryland beer.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk some more beer. So we'll be right back, Hob Nation. First Sip Brew Box is a one-of-a-kind subscription service for craft beer lovers based right here in Pittsburgh. Every month, First Sip will send you a box full of craft beer enthusiast essentials, including t-shirts, glassware, and even food. Right now, our friends at First Sip Brew Box have an offer for you. Just sign up for a 3-month subscription and get your 4th month free. Just enter the code HOPUSA when you sign up at firstsipbrewbox.com. That's HOPUSA at checkout to get your 4th month free at firstsipbrewbox.com. Welcome back, Hop Nation. We are touring the great state of Maryland, and it is time for stop number 3.
Hooray!
Yes, and we are going to be stopping on the farm.
The farm?
The farm. We are stopping at the Brookeville Beer Farm.
Cool.
Out of Brookeville, Maryland.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it makes sense now, doesn't it?
I'm already. Oh, yeah. I'm right there. I got it.
Okay.
I followed.
Did you? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not going to Bonnaroo.
No.
We're not on that farm.
No, different farm.
We're not on the funny farm. We're not on the... I don't know what other farms there are.
Cool.
So we're done with that.
Corn farm, wheat farm, barley farm.
I think that's about it.
Dairy farm.
So we are going to be trying the Lost Barrels from the Brookeville Beer Farm. It is a bourbon barrel-aged stout, 8% ABV, 32 IBUs, and the description is, it is smooth and rich, with accompanying hints of oak, followed by toasted coconut on the finish.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm actually looking forward to this beer.
Yeah. This is what I try to crush as much as I possibly can.
This is the kind of beer I think that's going to bring everybody together.
Right. We've been in disagreement on the first 2 beers.
This is where everybody comes together.
We can agree on booze and coconut.
Yes.
Not everybody can agree on coconut, though, either. So
True.
We can.
I like coconut. You like coconut.
Yeah.
So let's get some coconut in our stupid faces.
Okay. Go for it.
So after the pour, Guess what? It's a stout.
Yeah, it's a stout.
There's no mystery there.
Yeah, no mystery there. Unlike the Stargazer we had in the last segment, no light makes it through this one.
No. Your best bet would be trying to get through the tan head.
Right. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
Moving on to the nose.
Guess what? That's a hell of a nose.
I guess the booze.
It's got the booze.
It's got a lot of booze on the nose.
Yeah. This is a hearty beer.
I don't get any much else off of it.
I'm getting a little bit of the roasted coconut.
There's a sweetness to it, but I don't know. For me, it's just kind of indistinguishable.
Just kind of a blend with the booze.
Yeah. It's just, but even the booze nose on it isn't that harsh either. Mm-mm. We've had a lot hotter beers with a lot harsher.
Correct. But we don't know until we try it.
Yeah. But yeah, it just smells like booze and sweet.
Yes. Which ultimately, that's probably a good combination for us.
Hopefully.
Yes. Let's find out. Interesting.
So I get some of the coconut.
Mm-hmm.
I also get a bit of a hot burn on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I was expecting more of a burn.
In comparison to the nose.
Mm-hmm. What I was expecting was it's going to come in kind of late with a late hop of the burn. And especially when I took the first sip, I felt it coming on, but then the burn just kind of fell away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still there. And
it is, but it is not as obnoxious as I thought it could be.
Right.
To me, the nose kind of said, hey, this is going to be a Bernie boy.
Right.
Ugh. Can't believe I said that.
Ha. It's funny that way. Yang gang.
Go nuts.
Reappropriate political
for
buzz
our,
terms.
For our...
Yeah, for our stupid show. Our stupid beer show.
It's not a stupid show. It's a fantastic show.
Barrel-aged stouts can be Bernie boys. Yingling is Yang gang.
Oh, well, okay. I know what we're doing in 2020.
Yeah.
We're going to get political.
No.
Okay, that's fine too.
Nope. Still not getting political.
So instead of that, why don't we enjoy this beer and talk about terrible things we're going to put in our body?
It's state fair season.
It is.
And state fair season means that there's a lot of shitty food that comes with the state fair nowadays.
Oh, yes, there is.
It's like a gimmick at this point.
It's what brings the people in.
Yeah. But if you're listening to this on a Friday, as you should, then the Maryland State Fair has already been happening for a day. Mm-hmm. It opened up on the 22nd. Including the Maryland State Fair, though, is a lot of other state fairs. The Minnesota one, the New York one, the Nebraska one, Alaskan one.
You've got Colorado in there as well.
Yeah, they're all open for business. And they all have shitty, crazy, deep-fried foods.
Yeah.
So we did this last year with specifically the Minnesota State Fair.
Which is, I believe, the largest state fair in these United States.
Could be.
I think it is.
Okay. No, I'll go with you. They are pretty proud of the crazy food that they bring out. Mm-hmm. And so what we did last year was we just kind of looked at their crazy foods and then decided, how could we turn these into beers? Well, this year we're looking at all the state fairs that are open about this time.
Yes.
And we're seeing what we can do.
Full disclosure, we are not going to include the Iowa butter cow because I don't want to.
Okay.
Every year they make a butter cow.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with that this year.
That's fine.
There's been too much pandering there by all the politicians that they know aren't going to be elected. So we're not going down that avenue.
Yang gang. Yang gang and the butter cow. High five.
Dude, that album would be straight fire. Just so you know.
Yang gang and the butter cow?
Yeah.
It's a good album. So yeah, we just kind of took some of the crazy foods and we were gonna tell you how they could be made in the beers, or things that could be made in the beers.
Yes.
So I figured we could actually just start in the state we've been talking about. We've been talking about Maryland all night, so let's go to Maryland. I couldn't find a whole lot that really, really stuck out to me.
Okay.
They have a red velvet funnel cake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That sounds pretty good. We already saw that in action, though, at Fresh Fest.
Yes.
There was the red velvet Hennessy beer
by
from
the way,
Shrub.
Was freaking delicious.
Ooh, boy.
Yes.
So that's already been done.
Yeah. Old news.
Yeah, old news. There's another thing called the poor man's crab cake, and it's neither crab nor a cake.
What is it?
It's corn on the cob with Old Bay.
I mean, okay, yeah, that is poor man crab cake.
Yeah. What I thought we could do with that, though, like, that could be a beer, but that's sort of been done. because Hitchhiker released their Hard Corn,
Yes.
which was a pale ale made with corn and cornbread. Mm-hmm. So you might as well just throw some Old Bay in there.
Right.
There you go.
And I believe
That's the porter, man.
and I believe Flying Dog already did something with Old Bay with the Dead Rise.
Oh yeah, there's the Dead Rise, and then I believe Natty Boh even put out a.
Doesn't surprise me.
Right.
That's how he lost his eye.
Natty Boh / Pabst.
Yeah.
Right.
Slash old style /
right.
Sub $15 a case.
Yeah, they put out something with Old Bay in it. So yeah, it's not uncommon. Doesn't count, but Abita also put out a spiced beer the same way.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but it's all crab and crawfish boil stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Dump it out on newspaper. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of hard to find anything that really stuck out except for the pork sundae.
A pork sundae.
Yes, the pork sundae is pulled pork on top of potatoes, topped with coleslaw and a cherry tomato.
That sounds like somebody at the KFC offices tried to, propose something. It didn't quite make the cut.
Right.
And they said, "To hell with you. I'm doing it on my own."
It didn't make the cut because they proposed pork, not chicken.
Right, exactly. they missed the key ingredient.
Yeah, we do chicken here. Take it outside.
And then they did.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pulled pork. I think you can maybe do something sort of similar, maybe.
You might have to go in the realm of like the, apropos for this episode, the Duclaw Q.
Yeah, right.
You'd have to get into the spice rubs.
Yeah. Get into the spice rubs, and then maybe for the coleslaw, like it could be like a vegetable gyoza.
Yeah.
For the coleslaw, and maybe some tomato.
I'm not going to endorse any sort of tomato beer.
Of course you're not. You don't like tomatoes at all.
I do not. No, unless it's in ketchup form.
Yeah.
Or being thrown out my car window as I'm eating the rest of the burger.
Yeah.
And I throw them on the windshield of a Subaru, and it's funny. Like a discus.
So there's that. And then you use potatoes for starch.
Oh, yeah. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, you get a little alcohol out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's your pork sundae from the Maryland State Fair.
No pleasure, only potato. From Maryland, we're going to go a little bit west. Actually, a lot of bit west, to the great state of Colorado, where Pueblo, Colorado, is going to be hosting the Colorado State Fair, happening right now. If you're listening on a Friday, as you should.
As you should.
I also had a little bit of trouble finding some fairs that they had out there. Two things that they are known for, which we can make a beer for, but it's going to be real easy. It's called Foam Fest.
Yeah.
It's the craft beer fest.
Right.
Yeah. So we could just make a beer for that, or we can make beer out of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Beerception. We're not going to go down that route.
Okay.
But the other thing that they are known for is their Green Chili Championship.
Ah.
Now, this is chili, as in legitimate chili.
Okay. Not chili the pepper.
Correct. Two eyes.
But chili the big pot.
Yeah, bowl-based.
Right.
Yeah. But it's made with green chilies.
Yeah.
We got to make a beer made with the green chilies and a green chili, which goes back to, again, like we had talked about with the Duclaw Q. There's going to be those spices there, those kind of meat-based spices, and then we're going to have to add in our green chilies itself.
You get your white pepper, you get your black pepper.
Yes, I think that would be a
paprika.
A good beer to use with a porter.
Yeah, probably.
I think that'd be the way to go, is use a porter base and then add those adjuncts in.
Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty standard. I mean, there's a lot of beers like that. Mm-hmm. I almost would kind of steer away from the porter, though.
How so?
Well, Green Flash made a pepper beer with green serranos.
Okay.
And it didn't work.
Well, that might just be Green Flash?
Well, it might have just been Green Flash, but the greener the peppers are, it doesn't tend to work with the darker beers because it becomes it's a little too fresh and too vegetative.
Gotcha.
Vegetative. So it doesn't quite pair the way I like it. But
there was one other item that had been in Colorado State Fair past. I don't believe it's going to be at the State Fair this year, but it had to be mentioned anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It is the maggot melt.
Ugh.
Yeah. Guess what's in it?
Maggots.
Cheese.
Well, there's maggots
and maggots.
Cheese. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was something that was in 2011, 2012. They brought it out.
Ugh.
I don't want to go down that route, but it was so disgusting. I had to at least bring it up.
Right. That's fine. You can bring it up.
Yeah. So let's not do that.
I am pretty open to, the lines that can be crossed within craft beer.
Yeah.
Let's not put bugs in our craft beer.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The only reason bugs should be in your beer is if you're sitting out in the beer garden having yourself a good time and one happens to fly into your glass.
Right.
It's the only acceptable reason.
Only acceptable reason. Ugh.
Yeah. No.
So from Colorado, let's go to Minnesota.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that's
like
northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah, I'll back you up on that.
My geography, shit as balls.
Shit as balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, let's go northeast to the Minnesota State Fair. As we've talked about, there are great things that happen there. Not so much want to make beers out of these things, but a couple things. You can find their full menu of their new offerings, of the things they want to showcase. It's a big menu, too.
Minnesota is known for their ridiculous food items.
Right. Well, here's two that are new that caught my eye that I thought you would enjoy as well, or maybe not. Doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about them. Cheesy sriracha funnel cake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just batter and hot sauce mixed together, fried, and then cheese thrown on top.
Yeah, I'd eat that.
Right. And then the deep fried dilly dog.
What is a deep fried dilly dog?
The deep fried dilly dog is a pickle stuffed with bratwurst. And then again, deep fried, as the name
yes, it has
implies.
to be deep fried.
Yeah. I didn't really want to make beers out of those because the deep fry part is hard enough.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to translate to beer. That's kind of tough.
Yeah. And cheese isn't great in that. There's a lot of debate about pickles. Not necessarily going to throw bratwurst in anything. No. I just wanted to bring those up because they sounded good.
Yeah.
What I did want to try to make some beer out of, though, is one is Sarah's Tipsy Pies.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's going from booze and then back. So there's a business out in the area called Sarah's Tipsy Pies, and she makes pies and involves alcohol in every recipe.
Okay.
She's worked with breweries like Fulton,
who makes good stuff. We've had them on the show before.
Right. She made a beer fest pie, which was lager, bratwurst, and sauerkraut.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
What she's featuring at the Minnesota State Fair, though, is the Dubliner Irish Whiskey Tipsy Pecan Tart.
Ooh.
So it's a little pecan pie.
Yeah.
And it's made with Irish whiskey.
Oh, that sounds good.
So you could easily turn that into a beer.
Yeah.
You just make a pecan stout or brown ale or whatever, and then age it in Irish whiskey barrels.
Yeah, that's easy peasy.
That's an easy peasy one.
Damn it, that's good.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Right, let's just do that.
Yeah.
It's easy. The other one that caught my eye that I thought could turn into a beer pretty easy was the Bridgman's Ice Cream Peaches and Cream Nachos.
Hmm?
Yes.
Peaches and cream nachos?
Yes. It's peaches and cream ice cream served on top of cinnamon crusted nachos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like, you get the fried ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that kind of, but in a chip form.
So what I'm hearing is, for the poor man's version, you go to Taco Bell, get their cinnamon twists, and then you go to Walmart, get a peaches and cream.
Yeah.
And you just dip your cinnamon twist in there.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you go to Brewster's and get a peaches milkshake.
Yeah.
You can do that too.
And then you just put the cinnamon twist in there. You give them an extra $1. You're like, hey, can you throw this in the machine?
Right. Instead of nacho cheese, though, they use honey. So
okay,
it's honey.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's honey, peaches and cream.
Yeah, because if they were stupid enough to put nacho cheese on there, I would be highly upset.
Fucking do it anyway.
You can. This is America.
It's America. Do what you please. But yeah, that's those are two that I saw at the Minnesota State Fair that could easily translate into beer.
Mm-hmm. With Minnesota under our belts, it's time to go to the Empire State, the beautiful state of New York, specifically Syracuse, which is going to once again host the New York State Fair, which is happening right now.
Yes.
Because you're listening on a Friday, as you should.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole smattering of offerings that is interesting, but only 2, I think, can be turned into beer or beer-like substances. But I still kind of want to talk about them anyways.
Can be or should be?
Should be. That's a very good distinction. I appreciate that. They have things such as bacon-wrapped hot dogs that are topped with mac and cheese.
Hell yeah.
Yes. They have a poutine and chicken and waffle pizza
Ooh, Putin.
with chicken and waffles on a pizza.
That's a lot, but yeah.
It is a lot. It is a lot. They have a deep-fried bacon-wrapped mac and cheese stuffed sudden death burger. I'll get into that one a little bit in a second. And, I'm just going to get into it right now because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
What it is it is 2 burgers stuffed with mac and cheese,
Okay.
pork belly,
Yeah.
and cheddar cheese.
Okay.
Then it is wrapped in bacon, and then it is deep fried.
Okay.
It is estimated that it comes in at about 3 pounds
Yeah.
for 1 burger.
Nice.
Yes.
So I have to ask, being that this is a fair, and anybody who's been to a fair, there's always a lot of caricatures and things like that just painted on the side of buildings. They're very off-brand. Did somebody just hand paint Ivan Drago into the side of their truck, and it just says, if he dies, he dies?
If they didn't, they should. Absolutely, they should.
Like, you can never sue people for those kind of paintings because, like, they rarely look like the person they're painting.
They need a bigger truck.
Yeah.
To make things even worse, after it is deep fried, it is served with either a cheddar cheese sauce.
Nice.
Check that. It is served with a cheddar cheese
Okay.
sauce. And you can have either a chipotle sauce, a nice mild chipotle sauce, or a fiery hot habanero sauce.
Oh, great.
Yes. That, as the proprietor, Jim Hosbrook, calls it, takes it beyond belief.
Cool. Well, if there's no episode next week, you know what I did.
Yeah.
I went and killed myself.
Yeah, in Syracuse. Like any self-respecting American.
That's another cool album name. Killed Myself in Syracuse.
Yeah, Steve, please don't do that. I don't know how to work the board.
Well, that's why there's no episode next week.
Oh, shit. $13 is what it's going to cost you.
Huh.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
honestly not bad for 3 pounds of terribleness.
Yeah. 3 pounds of nightmares and sweating.
Yeah. But there were 2 items that should be brought before the board that can be made into beers. The first one is cotton candy wrapped ice cream burritos.
Nice.
I say again, cotton candy wrapped ice cream burritos.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I haven't.
There are, yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah. Honestly, you just take that and just throw it in.
Right.
Whatever beer you make it a nice light beer like a cream ale or something like that. Just throw it in.
Yeah, the only thing you got to worry about is the milk, like the lactose and everything from the ice cream. Otherwise, yeah.
Guess what? They put lactose in beer all the time now.
I know. I'm just saying.
Nobody cares now.
There's other things in ice cream maybe
Yeah.
that'll gum it up, but otherwise,
I think that one is a very easy one. You can just throw that in.
yeah.
The other one is it is a dessert. The first one was just a snack.
Yeah.
The other one is a proper dessert.
Okay.
It is deep fried banana bread, which is a banana on a stick, which is dipped in banana bread batter
Ooh.
and deep fried.
Huh.
Simple,
Yeah.
but you know what? Sounds really good, and I think it would work really well with a beer recipe.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's already Wells banana bread
Yes.
out there.
And you also have Hefeweizens that have a banana-y taste.
Right. But you could really up the banana on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you make the bread and then the banana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is something that can absolutely work in a beer.
Yes.
So Syracuse, get at us.
Make it happen.
We'll come up.
Who's up there? The Ithaca Brewing Company. They're close by.
You got Ithaca, you got Saranac.
But yeah, they could do it. So do it,
Yeah.
jerks.
You're just going to yell at them now?
Right, yes.
All right. Just going to bully them?
Right. I'm good at bullying breweries and making garbage.
Oh, okay. All right.
Somebody make me a cotton candy banana bread beer. You jerks.
And be happy when you do it. And your lunch money.
Make it blue.
Yes. So I think there are some very good offerings at the New York State Fair.
Yeah.
And there are some that could be good for a beer.
Right.
2 very separate categories.
Yes, 2 very separate things. There's also a way to kill yourself.
Yes, I would like to try them all. Not necessarily the killing myself part. That's.
Hey, they're the ones who put it out there.
But I would be willing to spend $13 on this sudden death burger, which is 3 pounds of everything.
Yeah.
All the bad decisions wrapped into one tidy little package.
If they don't have a mural of Jean-Claude Van Damme in a Penguins jersey fighting Ivan Drago, They are fucking up.
Yes.
They fucked it up.
Stone cold fact.
Yeah. All right. Final one. I went all the way to the Alaskan State Fair.
Far West.
Yes. I went through their offerings, and for the most part, there's not a whole lot that sounded crazy. I couldn't find anything that was really off the fucking wall.
Not even salmon based?
Not really, no. I mean, it might be there. It's just like they don't announce themselves the same way the Minnesota State Fair does.
Then it'll go crazy, go nuts.
Yeah, they do have a listing of all the vendors that are there. They got a lot of cool things. I mean, they had one that would seem like it was easy, like low-hanging fruit, because it was just Dole Whip.
Oh, okay. Again, you can put that on top of the beer.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just anywhere.
Easy
yeah.
peasy.
People have been using pineapple all the time in beer. That's not new. This is new. So one of their new featured food vendors this year is Russian Eats.
Russian Eats?
Russian Eats. It makes sense.
Okay.
You can see Russia from Alaska.
This is true. Sarah Palin told us that.
She told us. I realized I looked at their menu, and they are serving borscht.
Oh.
Yes.
That's a soup, isn't it?
Borscht is a soup. And it's a sour beet soup.
I see where you're going with this.
Both you and I have had a beet ale at a homebrew event.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe now's the time to make a beet sour.
Yes.
In a slushy style.
Oh, just gonna be just a dick about it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, you make it, it's already kind of sour because of the beets and everything.
Yes.
But, just ramp up the sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Try to bring it back the other way.
I like that. Yes.
Try to bring it back the other way.
Yeah. And speaking of beet ales, did you know that it was recently the 50th anniversary of the Abbey Road record?
Oh, my God. No. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, I do.
I live in the world of that movie Yesterday, where there's no Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the one thing that stuck out to me, and it gave me the idea. Make a sour beet.
Yeah.
Berliner Weiss.
I could get on board with something like that.
Yeah. The last thing I had is something going the other way. Turning beer into fair food.
How so?
Well, the fried Oreo has become basically universal amongst all these state fairs.
You can get that at Walmart now.
Yeah, you can get that at Walmart. You can get it at just like regular shops and stuff.
It's old news.
Yeah, it's old news. How do you make it new news? You take beers like the Prairie Double Dunk and deep fry that.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. I do believe that the Texas State Fair has already had deep fried beer,
Right.
but we can go the next step.
You go the next step with the Double Dunk,
Yes.
which is an Oreo beer,
Yes.
and then you have deep fried Oreo beer.
And if we want to keep it local, we can always go with the Oreo Speedwagon from Hitchhiker.
Right.
So let's do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's
if
do
they're-
both.
Do
Let's
both.
have a race.
I actually haven't had the Oreo Speedwagon,
Nor have I.
so I can't speak to how good that one is. But I've had the Double Dunk, and I know how much that one tastes like Oreos.
But judging by the other beers that we've had from Hitchhiker,
Right.
I'd like to think it was good.
I'm sure it was.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's the one I had going the other way. Deep fry some Oreo flavored beer.
Okay.
Do it. Fight you.
With or without the beer.
Yeah.
He's just going to fight you.
That's my challenge. I'm going to see if I can eat that sudden death burger.
Jeez.
Finish it off with some Oreo. Deep fried Oreo beer.
When you do that, let me know how the board works. Because there's like a 50-50 shot you ain't coming back.
Yes. Good.
No, not good.
Give in to the dark side.
Stop it. I don't want that.
Kill yourself in Syracuse.
Jeez.
Do it.
I don't think that was part of the original dialogue.
I'll fix it. I'll edit it in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just change it.
Kill yourself in Syracuse.
Yeah. Eat the deep fried burger.
Do it.
Do it.
No, all I can see is Porkins flying in, throwing fruit at you, trying to counteract it.
Porkins wouldn't do that. Porkins
I know
would
he
be
wouldn't.
right there.
Yeah, but it's the only one I can think of that wasn't Skywalker.
Wedge and Tilly's? You can't remember him?
I couldn't think of Wedge. I'm sorry. Porkins was the only one I had in my head right now.
Whatever.
Sorry, Wedge.
Well, that's what we came up with. That's how you can turn fair food into beer,
And vice versa.
and vice versa.
If you have any other options, thoughts,
Yeah.
processes, suggestions, let us know. HopNationUSA@gmail.com.
Tell us what's gross.
Yeah, do our jobs for us.
Yeah, do our jobs for us. Tell us what's gross.
Yeah,
How would you make fair food into beer?
We're doing this every week. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, you're not helping. Do it.
Jeez.
But yeah, coming back to this Lost Barrels beer
Yes, the bourbon barrel aged stout
from the Brookline Beer Farm.
Brookeville.
Yeah, nope.
Okay.
I was thinking of local Pittsburgh.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Yes, from the Brookeville Beer Farm. Yes,
I liked it.
I liked it. I liked it too.
I'm a fan of it. It's not the best barrel aged beer I've ever had, but it's
Nah.
certainly not the worst.
No, definitely not the worst. I've had some real,
Clunkers.
almost to the point of undrinkable
And
because
this is
it just
not that.
Yeah, no, this is pretty decent.
Yeah, I find this to be highly enjoyable.
Yeah, I wish it was just a little less hot, considering it's only 8%. I wish you got a little bit more of the coconut flavor from it.
It was not much of the coconut way, but admittedly, the coconut was mentioned in the fourth line of the description.
Right.
So
Right. To be fair to it, though, it is definitely not overly sweet.
no, it is not.
Yeah, it's good in that way. It doesn't like just completely burn you out every way.
I like it. I'll
Yeah.
admit, I think it's a good beer. I would certainly drink this 22-ounce bomber by myself, assuming I didn't have to go to work the next day.
Do it anyway.
I could do that.
Fuck work.
I'm not gonna say that. I gotta go to work.
Kill yourself in Syracuse.
Shit, dude. No. All right, we're going to the podium before you keep going down that path.
Yeah.
You go first. I want you to be distracted now.
Let's see. Well, it's pretty obvious that Bronze is going to go to the Funk's Way by Jailbreak Brewing. I do not like Berliner Weisses, and that one was too sour. It's just simple as that. I can fully admit, though, that you can get the key lime flavor on it and everything like that. They achieved their goal in making that beer. Like, it's not out of the style.
Right.
So
It's well executed.
They did that right, but I just don't like when that's done right. I want less sour. It needs to be. I have a very sensitive palate to sour. I don't like. But yeah, it's fine, and I would suggest it to other people, but it's not for me. Silver, I'm gonna give to the Lost Barrels by Brookeville Beer Farm. It's fine. I think it's an okay representation of barrel-aged beer. It's not my favorite. I've kind of had better. But yeah, if that's what's available to you, you get it. I mean, get that one over other things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've definitely had better. So I can't recommend it as like my top of the evening. It's just, I don't know. It's too lacking in some things, and it's too hot, and the hotness against the 8% ABV isn't justified in my mind. So, yeah, maybe if you cellar it for a while, but that goes against my, beer should be drinkable day one.
Buy it, drink it.
Yeah. That goes. You shouldn't have to buy something. If they want you to have something that is mellow, then don't release it.
Right.
Until it is.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Like that CBS is like the perfect example of something like that is the CBS that's been released as of late. Mm-hmm. It still needs more time because it's way too hot and you just lose a whole bunch of flavors. It's not that good. This isn't as bad as the CBS. I'll say that. But yeah, just I don't know. Didn't live up to my hopes and expectations. So the gold goes to this special release Stargazer Black IPA by the Elder Pine Brewing Company. It's a really good black IPA, and considering the fact that there aren't that many out there to begin with, you're gotta get out there and try them as you can. You can't just let them go to waste. Don't lose those opportunities because they're not around. It's like black IPAs and Rausch beers.
If you find it, get it.
Yeah, if you find it, get it. There's so few out there to begin with. But like I said, I find this Elder Pine, it's better than the Cascadian Ale that you find from Flying Monkeys that's out there. Like, I don't quite love that one, so I don't know what's going on with that. But otherwise, there's so few black IPAs that I have to compare against this, that I can't really say this one fails in any way, because it doesn't. It gives you nice roasty flavors, but it also, like, you get the hops in there as well. It's balanced in such a way that you do get a lot of hops up front, but it ends on that, those roasty notes, and it approaches a point to where you, like, almost taste a little bit of coffee, and that's great for that style. So great for that beer, and that's why it's my gold.
Right on. For me, I'm going to be completely different, but kind of the same, in that the bronze medal position is going to go to a beer not necessarily based on execution, but based on personal preference. If you've never listened to the show before, I am not a hophead. I am not an IPA guy. So unfortunately, the Elder Pine Stargazer, the black IPA, is going to go in the bronze medal position. It is not based on execution. It is not based on what the beer is. It's essentially coming down to what I like in a beer. It's me. You're not the problem. I'm the problem. However, I will say that for something that has those 3 dark, dirty letters associated with it, IPA, this is something that I can, I can enjoy on a very limited basis. I understand what the beer is. I like the roastiness that came out on it. We talked about that earlier. But it does have some hoppiness that is not to my liking. So for that, it does go in the bronze medal position. And now it gets a bit more difficult with the silver and the gold. However, I am going to agree with Steve and put the Lost Barrels by the Brookeville Brewing Farm in the silver medal position. I apologize, the Brookeville Beer Farm. It was a good beer. I liked it. I could certainly see myself drinking an entire bomber by myself, assuming I didn't have to go to work the next day or had anything planned. But there was a little bit of heat there in terms of the booziness, and it did not translate to the 8% ABV that is provided there. I agree with Steve completely on that. I've had better bourbon barrel-aged stouts, but I've had much worse bourbon barrel stouts. So I can't say anything bad about this. I did like the beer. So to say it's a silver medal beer is not a knock on it. I liked it. I would drink it again, bar none. But the Jailbreak Brewing Company, the Funk Sway, I like that one just a little bit more. So that's going in the gold medal position. I like Berliner Weisses. I like Key Lime. I like the way they did it. I like the execution. I could drink that probably more out of these 3. That would be the 4-pack, the 6-pack versus the 2 or 3 out of the Brookeville and the 1 or 2 out of the Elder Pine. So for that, Jailbreak gets the gold medal position for me today for the Old State Line. Old Line State, whatever the hell it is. Maryland.
There you go.
That's the one with the weird flag.
You did it. Awesome. Well, there you go. That's Maryland. We completed another state on the map.
Yes.
If you want to find us on social media, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA, and that'll get you Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the Hop Nation USA podcast every Friday, as you should, then search Hop Nation USA on your favorite podcatcher like Stitcher, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Laughable, and Player FM, and everything else.
Pocket Cast. Let's give them a shout out.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I always forget them.
Yeah, they're a thing.
But they're a thing. And we're there.
Yes.
If you're on any of those platforms, though, leave us a 5-star review because
we are a 6-star show, but they only let us use 5.
And that's a bigger crime than them not making season 6 of The Wire.
Oh, sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches. So, but that's it for this week. We did Maryland. We got more states that we still got to do.
Yes, I believe the next step is either north or west.
It'll be something. We've one of those two.
I mean, we've already got one in the chamber.
Yeah, we do have another state episode coming up.
We will not tell you which one it is.
Why don't you try to guess?
Yes. You have a 1 in 50 shot. Actually, have less.
No, they have less because we.
Who knows? Maybe they're gonna think, "Oh, they didn't do Michigan yet because they haven't gotten a back catalog."
That's right. They don't know, but yeah. So that's it. 122 will be something different. We actually have an episode planned for that, but I'm not going to announce it because sometimes we screw ourselves.
Things go wonky.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's going to happen,
Right.
but I like the idea of, just keeping it close to the vest.
Right. So we may or may not be at a brewery. There you go.
But we will say we will have an episode 122.
Yes, we will have an episode 122 next week. It may or may not be at a brewery.
Yes, and let's make sure Steve doesn't go to Syracuse in that time.
Try and stop me.